Welcome to Toronto Sports Card Expo. Thank you so much for sitting in the audience today. I am very excited to share the stage with these two wonderful human beings for the real, the random, and the ridiculously funny panel. Welcome, everybody.
What does that mean?
We're going to figure out. We're going to find out together. How you doing today? Let's introduce ourselves here. We've got, who's this lovely gentleman to the left of me?
Josh Madigan, Hockey Cards Gongshow.
And you, sir, on the far left.
Yeah, Darryl Garner, but I go by Dr. Collectible.
Oh, yeah. He's the only one that gets cheers? What about the rest of us? And it's moderated by Coach Go. Guys, so far today, actually, when did you guys come in?
I came in Thursday morning.
Thursday morning?
Crazy airport situation coming in.
Oh, I mean, I think that applies to, like,
yeah,
the real, the random, and the ridiculously funny. What happened at the airport?
You know,
I think it's funny.
it probably wasn't funny, but it was ridiculous, I will say.
There we go.
I came in, and as soon as I flew in from Atlanta, I get a bunch of text messages like, hey,
Just a situation then.
Yep, situation
Okay.
went down. But regardless, Canada is safe, and what they do is professional. So I think even that, and just coming in, starting off my time with that, but getting here, the chaos, the fun, the people, I'm just excited to be in the atmosphere of the hobby just in general.
You knew it was going to be a weekend to remember.
Definitely.
Awesome. And Josh, when did you come in?
Came in Thursday morning, too. We drove from Minnesota, so
What's that drive like?
long. And we split it up and stayed in Windsor. Got across the border. Was a little nervous about that, but everything went okay. And then had a really short drive to Toronto on Thursday morning, and it's been a whirlwind ever since, man. This weekend goes by so fast.
So when you say whirlwind, talk to me a little bit about that. Like, what does a whirlwind entail?
Well, it's hockey card heaven, and when you're from the States, it's there's nothing that compares to the where I live, and so trying to soak all that in, trying to shop a little bit, and been doing a little bit of that, and then all the events and the networking, and to me, the most important thing is seeing all the friends that I've been able to develop in this hobby over the past 3 years, and it's just feel like a kid again.
I love that. I think that's really what these shows are about, right? It's like there's the memories and really feeling all the nostalgia. You walk around, you see heroes that you grew up watching on TV, or people that you collected on cards. Literally, you just interviewed Darryl Sidler.
Crazy.
How was that?
Oh, it was amazing. It never gets old, and it's awesome to me that you see sort of the participation in the hobby and collecting, and it's not just by people like us on the content side or the collector community here. It's the athletes that really support it as well and continue to give back to the game.
And Darryl, is it second expo?
I feel like, no, third.
Third expo.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
How have you seen the expo grow from your first trip to Toronto?
So even before my time coming, I always heard about the show. Shout out to Ray Schultz, a good friend of mine. He always told me, hey, you need to go out to Toronto. There's a show that you need to see. It's almost like it's mini national. So I'm like, okay. Got a chance to work with CSC, which is Canada Sports Cards, and also just working with the expo and reaching out to them on my professionalism and seeing if I can do content. From there, I got my opportunity. I would say I had a passport for about 9 years, and I had to renew. I renewed it that same day, that morning, before actually flying out here. So just to even get my first experience and seeing the transition of me going my first time out the country and getting that atmosphere to now, I'm getting more used to it. I've been to, a Blue Jays game now. I'm experiencing more about hockey, learning more about the culture, and not only that, visiting Vancouver now. I want to go to Montreal. And like I say, to be here at the biggest sports card show that I think that goes down in this country, it's just amazing to be here itself. So 3 years in for me, and I've seen so much growth.
You're an honorary Canadian. So, I mean, part of this panel is the real, the random, and the ridiculously funny. Talk to me about the most random thing that someone has said to either of you this weekend. Maybe it's someone that's consumed your content. Maybe it's you dropped something on the ground. Like, I really want to know what this weekend has been like for both of you.
That's a tough one. I'm
Good.
trying to think of. Good question. Way to stump me. Not mad. I don't know if it's just been. For us, it's like, you know, it's humbling to be recognized, and you know, it feels random every time somebody comes up and says that they appreciate what you do. I mean, that's the. You know, I don't. It's kind of the greatest compliment that we can get in that, because I think what all of us really try to do is. You know, make the hobby a better space, build the hobby up, create new opportunities for collectors, and, you know, represent the good of the hobby versus all the negative stuff.
And Darryl, what about you?
I don't know. I think mine had to be today. Shout out to Beckett. I love what they do over there. You know, as I have my own card, I actually signed one for Elite. They are back there with CSC. They have a booth back there, and they do great work with like wax. And I actually signed a card for them a year ago, and they gave it back to me. They was like, "Yo, we see now that Beckett has now authenticated your autograph." So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna reach out to him and see if I can go and get it signed. So there was a kid that was with me, and he thought I can just give my card to them and say, yeah, it's me. Go ahead and get it out. No, it doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
And he had to break down to the kid like, yo, he signed a paper 20 times with his real name, the Dr. Collectible as well with, you know, my autograph name and everything else. But they needed my ID. They needed so much information to authenticate an individual like me. So I told the kid, let's say if you got a card and you get it signed by one of your favorite athletes, you expect them to do the same thing and have the criteria to do with that card, right? So you know when you have that card, it is authenticated.
Yeah.
It is being graded. It is being put in great care, and they're doing it like professionals. So even for me, I told them, yo, it ain't even easy for me to have my own autograph. Like, they gave me an 8 on my own signature.
No. An 8?
Yeah, so but I respect that.
That's pretty funny.
I respect it, though, because that lets me know the way I signed it on that picture that
You
day,
got lazy there.
they going straight for that.
They're too streaky. You got a better pen next time. Talk to me. I mean, you actually brought it up, Josh. You said, you know, every time that someone comes up to you, you know, it almost feels random. Talk to me about how it feels several years into creating content and creating community and having people come up to you at a show like this, a show where, I mean, your content specifically really has a huge impact.
Well, the most interesting thing about that interaction is that because we do 2 shows a week and 3 hours, that people that listen to us get to know a lot about who we are. And so we're at a big disadvantage in a certain perspective because they feel like they know us, but we're just meeting them for the first time. And so we have a lot of catching up to do in some regard when we're meeting someone at a place like this.
And is that humbling? Like, how does it feel
course.
to put all this work in and to actually have these interactions take place, man?
Of course, you know, it's like what our goal is to entertain people, to be educational, informative, be positive. Like I said, you know, build up versus tear down. And the biggest compliments we get are when somebody will message us saying, like it was a Monday morning, and saying, man, I was dreading going into work today, but you know, your show helped me get you through the day. That's like the best feeling, right? Because I think, you know, I'm a little bit older than you guys now, and I've, you know, the idea to help anyone, even in the weirdest, smallest way, by doing a dopey hockey card show is a very rewarding feeling.
Yeah, I mean, like, you're having a real impact. It's like, it's, aside from providing value in the entertainment sense, it's, I mean, well, in in the statistics, in the potential buying opportunities or
Sure.
whatever set lists, you're actually providing real life value in enhancing their life from like an emotional perspective, and that's just incredible. So,
Well, we try, and
Yeah.
Mostly we're just dumb and goofballs. But
you're
we try.
just being you, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why you're on the funny stage and not the serious one.
Yeah. There you go.
Darryl, what about you, man? Talk to me about the impact that your stuff has had on the people that come up to you and how that makes you feel.
It's unreal because, like, for me, that's stuff that I don't expect because I generally put that stuff out there to be myself. It's not to, like, deteriorate anyone's mindset about how they feel about the hobby. I'm clear-cut. I'm straight to the point, and what you're going to get from me is authentic. I think most people I have received is that, a father can come to me with their kids and say, hey, yo, this is Dr. Collectible. My content is PG-13 majority of the time, so majority kids are going to be able to relate to me as well. So I love to see the fact that not only I'm able to touch the father, but I also touch, that son or daughter as well through my content. To get that and to receive that type of feedback from not only just one individual, but the family is watching you, because I'm creating content for someone to be able to enjoy with their son or daughter, the same way I want to enjoy the hobby with my father when he watches my content now that I wasn't doing 5 years ago.
Yeah.
That's the feedback that I usually get, and it's a joy for me. Seriously.
I love that. See, we got the real here as well. Talk to me about the funniest thing in either of your collections. Funny, we can call it random as well. What's the most random thing in your collection? Josh, we'll start with you.
Oh, I have so many random
Something
things.
that just doesn't belong.
I used to buy. It's hard now, but I don't know like where you guys live, but you used to be able to go like on Facebook Marketplace, and people would like legitimately sell like old collections, like a mother of her kids' collections, and it used to be so much fun to buy these really big collections, and just have my wife did not like it,
No,
but
definitely not.
to bring like truckloads of card boxes that are like smelly into the house and just go through them, and you would pull out the most random things ever. And so I have like so many like ridiculous like TV shows from the 70s and 60s, or like weird advertisement cards, but that's part of the, it's almost like treasure hunting.
Yep.
That's awesome. Darryl, what about you, man? What's the most random thing you have in your collection?
Random. All right, so I collect magazines.
Nice.
A lot of magazines, and a lot of these magazines are very controversial. You're talking
Ooh.
about Sports Illustrated, ESPN, and it might be a time of a life where the athlete was at their lowest.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so for me, the most weirdest item, I actually found it last year at this show. And
Are you just saying that, or that's just, yeah?
no, I'm so serious. I am so serious. I actually got the video footage and everything. I just haven't put it out there yet because, like, the person controversy.
Yeah, of course.
I'll be honest, it's like P. Diddy, but he's on the magazine, and the magazine is so controversial of the things that it say and what he's going through now in life. So I'm like, it's almost like a revision of the past is now showing future. So yeah, the magazines, I'm definitely into that. There's a lot of people in time that have went through a lot of things in their lives, and regardless, at the end of the day, with them individuals going with what they went through, O.J. Simpson, whoever it may be, I mean, you still just have to enjoy the art that they put out in their lifetime. So for me, like Mike Tyson, I know he went through things, but at the same time, I enjoy his art. He's a boxer, and that's what he do. And that's what I'm gonna enjoy with that. So magazines for me.
Cool. Is there a pivot that you guys, either of you, are kind of like looking to do? Is there like a section of the hobby, or maybe like a collectible, or something that you want to kind of dive into, and you're gonna put a little bit more time than you've been putting into it over the last little bit, let's say in the next 3 or 6 months?
Yeah, for me, it's vintage.
Cool.
And we've been doing this Get to Know Your Hall of Famers series on our show, where we started with the very first Hockey Hall of Fame class, which was in 1945, and have been profiling every single player until we get to present day. And through that, and both Phil, who's on our show too, we both have the goal. So in the 1910 C56 set, the card number 1 is Frank Patrick, and that's really the very first hockey card.
So cool.
I was looking for it here. Nobody has it, but that's a goal. And so as we're learning more about, and these players, their stories are incredible. Like what an athlete had to go through in the early 1900s, not just to play their sport. A lot of like hockey careers were interrupted by World War I, where they started their career, then they were in France for 3 years fighting World War I, and then come back and resume their career. And beyond that, the Patrick brothers who invented the blue line, and things that are kind of important to the game today. And so it's like, but sometimes I feel like you just got to take that leap.
Yeah.
Right, and it's hard to take that first step. But once you do, you kind of get sucked in.
Yeah, I mean, I love that, man. That's awesome. Darryl, what about you? Is there any like a collectible that you're like, I want to just put a little bit more time and energy into? You don't necessarily have to be buying, but maybe just something that you want to dive a little bit more into than you have been right now.
Yeah, a lot of mine recently has been like pop culture, not just singly sports related, but like, I don't know if y'all remember the movie Mars Attack.
Yeah.
I remember that growing up. I collect them cards. I have a whole booklet with every card starting from number 1 to I think it's like 150, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I ended up seeing that at a spot called Cards HQ, and I had just did a video about it. So I said, you got the whole set right here? Let me grab it from you. So it's been more pop culture cards, anything that has dealt with my childhood from video games. I love what V-Friends are doing with their insert that they have now that looks like a handheld Game Boy. Like, that's my childhood. Bringing that together, it's kind of non-sports, almost like you bringing in TCG and video games together. So for me, it's been a lot of non-sports stuff because the last couple of years I just been into sports. Now it's been what kind of changed my life, what molded me, collecting Power Rangers now. I got the first issue of their comic book, was gifted to me by a friend. It's like stuff like that now, I'm starting to get into more. So for me, pop culture and the things that I enjoyed in my lifetime, I'm starting to take time now to appreciate that more and collect that now.
All right, awesome. I have one more question for you all, and maybe we think about it for a few seconds, but is there any collectible that either of you own that really evoke an emotional response?
Yeah, I got one. It's actually, as a hockey guy, it's a baseball card. So I own 1956 Jackie Robinson, Topps Jackie Robinson. And to me, it's just like, I feel like a card like that is a piece of the historical record, a piece of history. And it represents such an important time in America and a pivotal time in America. And so it goes beyond just cardboard. And, I think every time I look at that card, I think about that. I think about what it was like for him in 1956. And, and I think that it has more meaning to me because of that.
I absolutely love that. Darryl, what about you, man?
Yo, well said, because history shows a lot about that. Appreciate you even sharing that, man. That means a lot, especially for my culture, man. So, for me, I want to say there are some cards that I know I will probably never see in my lifetime again. It's when I was first getting into the hobby, and I told my father to send me some cards from my old collection, the stuff that I was collecting as a kid. Them cards helped me get out of a situation years ago in my life, and helped me get into a better situation, but I had to sell my childhood. I told myself that I would never sell my childhood again. That's why I'm more into the collecting than flipping, So for me, that's probably the most meaningful stuff, or I want to say items collectible wise, that meant so much to me. But my childhood helped me move where I'm at now. Even though I might not see them cards again, it's just like my childhood saved me, you know?
I love that.
So as an adult now, them cards mean so much to me. Even though I might not see them in my lifetime again, them Kobe cards would mean everything to me because of the time frame of what it meant for me as a kid and what it did for me as an adult.
Amazing. Guys, I want to thank you so much for joining me on stage. I do want to make sure that every single person watching has the opportunity to follow each of you, not just for the amazing content you have, but for the journey that you guys are on and for the immense value that you bring to, everybody every day. So let's start with Josh. Where can people find you? Give them everything. Give them...
Well, YouTube or Instagram, Hockey Cards Gongshow. It's pretty easy. Good job, Brendan. You did great today.
Try my best. Darryl, what about you, man?
Yeah, Dr. Collectible, all social medias, website as well. And if you want to look me up, add me. I'm very active, so if you want to reach out and do business as well, I'm open to that. And this guy here, man, share your social media.
Yeah, Coach Go Collectibles, Coach Go across the board. Guys, thank you so much for joining in today. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day and a wonderful rest of the weekend. Thank you so much.
Good job, buddy.
Yes.